Hello and welcome to Yoga for Ankles and Balance. To begin, start in a comfortable standing position with your feet hips-width distance apart. Roll your shoulders back and down away from your ears, and then start to close your eyes. In this class, we'll be training our ankle joints by mobilizing and strengthening them. We'll also be working on our balance and increasing our sense of proprioception, which is the understanding of where our body is in space in any given moment. So start to notice your feet pressing into the ground. And moving at your own rhythm, real slowly start to shift your weight back into your heels. Notice your toes might lift off the ground. And then ground your toes and start to shift your weight forward into your ball mounds and toes. Notice all these micro movements happening in your feet and ankles, keeping you upright and balanced here. Then we'll repeat. Start to shift your weight back into your heels. Notice your core slightly engage. Then start to shift forward once again into your toes and ball mounds. Do that one more time, moving at your own pace. Maybe even challenging yourself a little bit and going past what you think your limits are. Nice. Then open your eyes and lift your right foot off the ground, drawing your knee into your chest. We'll just begin with some ankle rolls in the right foot. Start in one direction for another 3, 2, 1. And then switch directions, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your right foot down. Standing in your right leg, draw your left knee up and into your chest. And begin with ankle rolls. 5 times in this direction. Notice if you can use the entire range of motion here, exploring whatever sensations arrive in your ankles. Nice. Switch directions. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place your left foot back down. Cool. Now our next exercise are going to be ankle jumps. For these, we're going to try to keep our legs as straight as possible and only use the calf muscles. Swing your arms for momentum and let's begin. Start hopping up, again, trying to only use your lower legs here, keeping your knees as straight as possible. Nice work. Let's continue building some heat in the body for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. All right, now stretching the tops of your ankles. Place your right foot on the ground slightly behind you, pressing the top of your foot towards the ground. As best as you can, energetically guide that ankle crease on the top of your ankle into the ground, as to bring some length between your right knee and your right toes. Take a breath in, and exhale, release, other side. Place the left foot down behind you. Bend your knees here to give yourself a little more weight into your left foot. Really stretching out the top of your foot and ankle here. This is a really great preparation pose to be able to sit on your heels comfortably without your ankles screaming at you. Nice. Let's release. Come back to standing and then place your feet as wide as your mat with your toes pointing outwards, about at a 45-degree angle. Now keep your heels on the ground here as we move into a squat. Bring your hands to the ground. Now squat as low as you can without your heels lifting off the ground. If you can sink all the way down into a full deep squat, awesome. But if your heels start to lift as you do so, then lift up a little bit. So what we're doing here is trying to experiment with our body and see what our mobility capacity is, let's say. So keep your hands on the ground for balance and lower your seat as much as you can. If you're not even as low as me in the video here, totally fine. We're just experimenting with our own bodies. Nice. Then we'll step back into tabletop position. And giving our lower body some rest, let's start to focus on our spinal column. With an inhale, open your chest by dropping your belly and looking forward. Exhale to lift the upper back, spread your shoulder blades nice and wide. Nice. 2 more like this. Inhale to drop the belly, look forward. Think about pulling your chest between your biceps. Exhale, lift the upper back, spread your shoulder blades wide, draw your chin to chest. Inhale, open the front of your torso, extending your spine. Exhale, lift your upper back, chin to chest. Good. Come back to neutral tabletop and let's balance. Extend your left leg back and reach your right hand forward. You might feel wobbly at first, but you'll get better in time. Good. Now squeezing it in, draw your elbow and your knee together. With an inhale, re-extend your arm and leg. Exhale, elbow to knee. Engage at the front of your core. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Nice job. Inhale, re-extend, reach long. Exhale, back in a tabletop. Other side. Reach your right leg back and your left arm forward. Inhale. And exhale, elbow to knee. Pull your upper back to the ceiling. Inhale, re-extend, get nice and long. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more time. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, back into tabletop. From tabletop, tuck your toes under. And let's move into down dog. With a big inhale, send your hips up and back. And press your chest towards your thighs. Keep a deep bend in your knees, especially at the beginning here. And although you're energetically pressing your heels into the ground, it's totally normal if they're not touching the ground just yet. Think about lengthening your upper body, creating a straight line from your hands up to your tailbone. So like I said, the knees can absolutely be bent here. Now let's start to pedal out the feet to stretch out the hamstrings. You'll do that by bending one knee and pressing your opposite heel into the ground, straightening the opposite leg, and then switch sides. Good. Keep going. Keep switching sides. Just stretch out the backs of your legs. While you're here, start to notice your breath. Notice if you're holding it, and try to deepen it, creating more fluid rhythm. Good. Now back into neutral down dog. From down dog, start to tiptoe your feet up towards your hands at the top of your mat. We're going to introduce a new pose today called chair pose. For chair pose, bring your feet hips-width distance apart, outer edges of the feet parallel, then bend your knees, sink your hips, and reach your arms overhead. You can really imagine that you're about to take a seat in a chair. Lift your toes off the ground. Make sure you're shifting your weight into your heels, and when you look down, make sure you can see your toes. Arms reach up and palms face one another as if you're holding a ball. Good. Ground into your right foot. Lift your left foot off the ground. With control, step your left foot towards the back of your mat. Then tap your left knee down, untuck your toes, coming into low lunge. Lower your hands to the ground. Start to sink your hips, letting your right knee reach forward over the top of your right ankle. So when you look down at your right toes, try to bring your right knee to pass your right toes so all you see is your knee. Keep your heel on the ground the entire time. So we're training our mobility here, our ability to flex the ankle. Nice. Keep going, sinking the hips into the ground, letting your knee go over your toes. Nice. Breathe deeply, and let's stay here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now shift your hips back until your right knee stacks your ankle And we're going to practice lifting the outer edge of the right foot off the ground while keeping the inner ball mound and heel grounded. So lift for 5, 4, it's real subtle here, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Now we'll come back into chair pose the same way we entered. Reach your arms overhead, tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee off the ground for a high lunge. Reach forward and with control, lift your left foot and tap it forward down on the ground back into chair pose. Nice. Rise to standing and shake out your legs. Good. Other side, feet hips width distance apart. With an inhale, chair pose, arms overhead. As you exhale, ground into your left foot. Start to lift your right foot off the ground and with control, step your right foot down behind you. Take your time, tap your right knee down, untuck your toes, and lower your hands to frame your left foot. Sink your hips as you move your left knee to go past your toes, flexing your left ankle here, moving our foot into dorsiflexion. See how far you can go without letting your heel lift off the ground. Keep it grounded here. So you're pressing the entire sole of your foot into the ground as you shift your knee and your hips forward. Breathe deeply and hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shift your hips back so your left knee stacks your left ankle. Moving on to the strength exercise, lifting the outer edge of the left foot off the ground, keeping the left ball mounds grounded. And let's begin. Lift for 5, 4, 3, just the outer edge of the foot, 2, last one, and release. Getting ready for chair, tuck your right toes under, reach your arms overhead and lift your right knee off the ground. Reach forward and with control, make your way back into chair, hovering your right foot, finding balance along the way. Arms overhead, and then release, rise to standing. Shake out your legs once again. Good, then ground your feet and come back in a chair pose. Sink your hips maybe even a little lower this time. Ground into your right foot, lift your left foot off the ground. With control, step the left toes back, this time staying in high lunge. Reach your arms overhead nice and tall. Keep your right knee stacked above your right ankle and keep a neutral pelvis. You'll do that by bending your left knee and pointing your left tailbone to the ground. We want to focus on opening up the left hip flexors here while we challenge ourselves in this balance pose. And yes, believe it or not, high lunge is a balance pose. If you're feeling super confident today, then try closing your eyes to challenge your balance even more. Notice all these micro movements happening in both feet and ankles to keep you upright. And now if your eyes are closed, you might start feeling a little wobbly. That's okay. If you need to open them at any point in time, do so. Hold for another 3, 2, and 1. Open your eyes. Lean the upper body forward, getting ready to come back into chair pose. Stand in your right leg, shift your weight forward, and step your left foot down to meet your right. Keep your right knee bent the whole time. Sink into your chair. Good. Then rise to standing, shake it out. Release your arms down by your sides. And once again, chair pose. Sink your hips low, arms overhead. Stamp your left foot into the ground and hover your right foot. Slowly step your right foot to the back of your mat, coming into high lunge. Opening up the right hip flexors and challenging your balance. Whenever you're ready, you may close your eyes. Notice all of those micro movements in the feet and the ankles, and maybe even your arms kind of sway side to side a little bit here to keep you balanced. This is it. This is us challenging our proprioception. Really nice job here. Take one more breath in. And one more breath out. Shift forward, arriving back in chair balance on your left foot as you step the right foot down beside. Hold your chair pose, sink your hips a little more. Good, and release to standing. Straighten your legs, release your arms. Shake out your legs as you need. Place your feet back down, hips width distance apart, and sink back down into your chair. Hips low, arms overhead. Standing on your right foot, lift your left foot off the ground. With control, step your left foot back, once again arriving into your high lunge. Now this time, lean your upper body forward, straightening your left leg to shift all your weight into your right leg. With a big inhale, lift the left foot off the ground, coming into Warrior 3. Amazing job. Straight line from your hands to your feet. Then, with control, rise to standing, keeping your left foot off the ground if you can. Moving into tree pose, bring the left sole of your foot either to your right inner thigh above your knee, or move it below your knee to your calf. If your balance is really off today, then use your left toes on the ground like a little kickstand, just placing your left heel on your right ankle. Now pick any of these 3 variations. Then when you're ready, reach your arms overhead. Look at one single spot, something ahead of you that isn't moving, and that's going to help you balance here. If you're super confident today and feeling great, you feel like your balance is invincible, then try closing your eyes for a little extra challenge. Nice. Beautiful job. Release your left foot down and shake out your right leg. That was a lot of balance work for your right leg here, so give it some love. And let's get ready for the next side. Come back into chair pose. Standing on your left foot, begin hovering your right foot off the ground and slowly step it back into high lunge. Reach forward, straight line from your fingers to your right foot, and lift your right foot off the ground, coming into Warrior 3. Stay strong in your standing leg. Then with control, come all the way up to standing. Try to not let your right foot touch the ground. Awesome. Come into tree pose. Right sole of the foot against your left inner thigh, above your knee, below your knee at your left calf. Or use your right toes on the ground like a little kickstand, placing your right heel against your left ankle. Any of these 3 variations are great. Pick one, and then when you're ready, reach your arms overhead. Focus your gaze on one single spot ahead of you that isn't moving, and deepen your breath. Taking full inhales and exhales. If you feel like you want an extra challenge, of course, you may close your eyes. But then you might start to feel really wobbly. So if you're able to do that, that's awesome. Nice. Release. Shake out your left leg. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, place your left foot back down. All right, step your feet as wide as your mat. Point your toes outward at a 45-degree angle. So similar to what we did at the beginning of class, testing our plantar flexion. Place your hands to the ground, bend your knees, and start to sink as deeply as you can into a squat. If you're near a wall, then I recommend doing this with your back against the wall so that you take the balance factor out and you're able to just focus on the opening in your ankles and in your hips. So with your back against a wall, there's a couple of options. You can simply sit with your back flat against the wall and squat as deeply as you can. If your heels lift slightly off the ground here, that's okay because we're still working on our mobility in the right direction. You can experiment placing your feet a little wider apart or a little closer apart to find a position that's comfortable for you. Again, if the heels are off the ground, it's okay. You see my little thumbs up in the video here. Now, bring your elbows to the insides of your knees once you've found a comfortable position. And just use your elbows against your knees to press your knees apart. If you're able to connect your palms at your chest, that's great. If that's too much today, totally fine. Just focus on your stretch in the hips and in the ankles. Breathe deeply. Try your best to lengthen your spine. If you're against the wall, maybe your back is flat against the wall. And as I'm kind of trying to show in the video here, if you're not as deep as I am in this pose, don't sweat it at all. We're all going to be in different places. So I'm just moving over to my mat, but you're more than welcome to stay against the wall. We're holding it for another 3, 2, and 1. Step back to your mat if you haven't yet, and then come into a standing forward fold. Grab a hold of opposite elbows. Let your legs lengthen and straighten, not strengthen, as far as they can. And just let your torso sway a little bit side to side. Just relaxing your low back and your legs here for a few moments. You might bounce up and down a little bit here. Might feel really nice for your neck if you've relaxed it all the way. Then bounce a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. And then come back to center. Release your hands to the ground. Step back into down dog. Take a nice big deep breath in. Press your heels into the ground. As you exhale, start to pedal at the feet one last time. Notice if there's any improvement since the first time we did this at the beginning of class. All right, now lower your knees to the ground, untuck your toes, bring the tops of your feet to the ground. Start to walk your hands back slowly but surely, lowering your seat onto your heels. Now, if you have the mobility and it feels totally fine on your ankles, then take a seat completely on your feet so that we start to give the tops of the ankles a nice deep stretch. Now, taking it one step further than last class, place your hands down and begin to lift your right knee off the ground to deepen the plantar flexion in the right ankle. Hold it and lift your knee as high as is comfortable for you. And gently release. Other side, begin to peel the left knee and shin off the ground. Go as far as you can. Don't worry about being as far as I am in the video. Just do what feels right in your body. Good. Slowly release. From here, we'll come into child's pose. Simply walk your hands forward. Let your belly rest on your thighs and your forehead come down towards the ground. Take a few moments here to let the body soften, let the shoulders relax, the hips relax, and continue to feel that gentle stretch through your ankles. You can always use that technique to roll up the back of your mat if this is too intense for your ankles here. You can do it halfway up your mat, or you can even roll up your entire mat depending on how much support you need. Place your ankles on top of that rolled up portion so your toes should be hanging off the edge. This is going to be super supportive here. And when your mat is ready, make your way back into child's pose. We're going to use this pose to relax a little bit. So just take the next few moments to observe your breath. As you inhale, imagine filling up the back of your lungs. As you exhale, imagine your body sinking a little deeper into the ground. Letting go of little bits of tension somewhere in your body. And slowly start to lift yourself back up into tabletop position. Unroll your mat if you've rolled it. And then swing your legs forward out in front of you, coming into a seat on your butt. Then lower down onto your back. Cross your right ankle over the top of your left knee and flex your right foot. That's going to help keep your right knee safe. And then interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. If that's enough, stay there. If you want to go deeper, then grab a hold of your left shin bone or the bottom of your left knee and pull your left knee closer into your chest to deepen the stretch in your hips. Well, your right outer hip, that is. And while you're here, breathe. Inhale, fill up the body with space. Exhale, let your body sink into the ground as you actively release tension. Keep breathing like that, about 2 more times. I lied, 3 more times. All right, release, uncross your legs, and switch. Cross your left ankle over the top of your right knee. Flex your left foot and keep it flexed the whole time. Grab the back of your right thigh or your right shin and pull your left knee into your chest as far as you can. Keep your entire upper body grounded here. Stay relaxed in your shoulders and your neck. And let's breathe. 5 deep breaths in this pose, filling up your lungs to their entire capacity and slowing down your exhales so that they last slightly longer than your inhales. That is one little trick to calming your nervous system and giving your nervous system a fast track into your parasympathetic or rest and digest nervous system. Slowly release. Draw your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg long. Moving into a twist, cross your right knee over your body. Extend your right arm out over to the right and look towards your right hand. Same thing as in this reclined pigeon pose. Every inhale, imagine your body filling up with space. And every exhale, imagine your body sinking deeper into the ground. Letting go of some bits of tension in your body with every exhale. And trying to get those exhales to last slightly longer than your inhales. Roll back over onto your back. And let's switch sides. Draw your left knee into your chest. Extend your right leg long. Then cross your left knee over your body. Reach your left arm out over to the left and look over to your left hand. If your shoulder and knee don't make it all the way to the ground here, that's totally fine. You're still getting a spinal twist. And if you're lucky, a little bit of a hip stretch as well. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Slowly unravel. Draw both knees into your chest. Roll yourself up into the tiniest little ball. And then extend your legs long. Coming into our final pose here, release your hands to either side of you with their palms facing up. Final tension exercise, start to squeeze every muscle in your body, everything super tense from head to toe, and hold for another 3, 2, 1, and let go. Let the entire body relax here. Come to your most natural rhythm of breath, taking no more control of anything. It's time to let go of all the effort we had put forth during our practice. And for the next few minutes, let our bodies completely and entirely rest. Shavasana. Slowly start to bring your awareness back into your body. Invite gentle movements back into your hands and feet. Then you might start to roll out your wrists and ankles. Rock your head a little side to side. Then in time, reach your arms overhead, point your toes, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Bend your knees and roll over to the side. Keeping your eyes closed, press up into a comfortable seated position. Take your time to get here, no rush. And once you arrive, sit up tall, place your hands on your thighs, and just take a moment to notice how your body feels now at the very end of class. Training balance, working on strengthening and mobilizing the ankles. And connect your palms at the center of your chest and thank yourself for showing up today. Amazing work, and I look forward to seeing you back on your mat very soon.